Good morning.
Good morning.
Today I have found this information that became available to me to be so valuable, I simply want to give it to you. And if you want to pursue it on your own, it comes from the fourth book of Conversations with God. How is humanity going to move from where we are right now? In competition, conflict, and fear, to cooperation, harmony, and love. We're going to do it because we choose to do it. And we're going to do it because we open ourselves to the help that is about us, waiting for us to wake up sufficiently to where we can take their help and apply it as a civilization. Highly evolved beings and the civilizations they create embrace principles and ways of being that create highly beneficial outcomes for all. Their civilizations are characterized by cooperation, harmony, and love, rather than competition, conflict, and fear. The net result is civilizations where freedom, prosperity, and happiness abound. Their example serves as a great model for humanity to emulate if it truly wants to create the better world that many of us are hoping for. At this point, you might be a bit perplexed and thinking something like, what highly evolved beings and civilizations? Where are they? I don't see any. Well, indeed, it may appear that way, but in fact, we are very much not alone. Believe it or not, there are many highly evolved civilizations within our galaxy, and many far beyond. There are two reasons that the existence of extraterrestrial civilizations is not apparent to us. One, most of them exist in higher dimensions of our physical universe, so they're not visible to us. And two, they aren't all that interested in direct interactions with a civilization as primitive as ours. But rest assured that many of these civilizations are very interested in facilitating the evolution of humanity and are doing so in a number of subtle ways behind the scenes. So, what do they share? What do they have in common? What can they give to us? What can we embody? What can we embrace? One, and the most important, they deeply understand the unity of all life and live congruently. Highly evolved beings know the oneness of all. They know we are all parts of a singular yet multi-threaded consciousness that is all that is. They know that any apparent separation is an illusion because everything is part of one thing, and it is all interconnected and interdependent. They know that any action they take that affects another being or thing ultimately affects everything else. This is the single most important realization any being can have, and in civilizations created by beings with this understanding, it is the foundation for their way of life. They deeply know that what they do to another, they are ultimately doing to themselves. And hence, they treat everyone and everything with great care and respect. Two, they always tell the truth. At a level of consciousness of highly evolved beings, their ability to sense energy and vibration is greatly enhanced because everything is energy. Matter, light, thoughts, emotion, etc. And so any attempt to communicate something that is untrue would readily be apparent to all listening. At this level of being, they cannot communicate something that is untrue and not radically alter the energy they are emitting. In stark contrast, denial and deception run rampant in humanity. We frequently lie to ourselves as well as others, and we are easily deceived. As an example of how we lie to ourselves, consider the violence that is portrayed in entertainment and its connection to the increasing violence in our society. The portrayal of violence runs rampant in our movies and TV programs, in our video games, and even in our children's toys. You'd have a hard time convincing a highly evolved being that the constant stream of violent images we bombard our children with has no effect on their beliefs, attitudes, behavior. Humanity, on the other hand, can't seem to admit that the increasing violence in our society arises, at least in part, from the continual onslaught of such images. Because if we did, we'd have to do something about it. And we feel powerless, so we just ignore it. This pattern of seeing self-damaging behaviors and then doing nothing about them is a classic sign of immature beings. Highly evolved beings never hide from the truth, and they always speak the truth. And the last point I want to bring, they never kill each other. Highly evolved beings never, under any circumstances, kill another incarnate being unless specifically asked by the other to do so. Within humanity, murder and mass murder, war, etc., occur appallingly frequently. We justify such behavior as self-defense. It's interesting to note that in primitive societies, all attack is called defense. And of course, we certainly have the right to defend ourselves and do so in any way we see fit. After all, we're free and sovereign beings. We have the right to do anything we please. Yet a highly evolved being would not kill another, even in situations we would clearly consider self-defense. This is because they understand that every act is an act of self-definition. Every act defines who you are. You are creating yourself in each and every moment by what you choose to do, so it boils down to deciding who and what you want to be. Do we want to define ourselves as ones who are willing to do anything to survive and create a dog-eat-dog kind of world in the process? Ultimately, highly evolved civilizations transcend the need to kill others because they no longer create situations where they would find themselves needing to kill. And that's because they have awakened to their oneness. And every aspect of their attitudes and behaviors have changed dramatically. When humanity fully awakens, then all the conflict and competition will end. No more killing, no more dog-eat-dog world. Instead, we will find ways to share everything and cooperate on a grand scale. And this newfound level of cooperation and sharing will create an unprecedented level of prosperity and happiness for all. And no one will ever have any reason to attack or defend physically, emotionally, financially, etc. for any reason ever again. In the rare case where an unenlightened being chose to mortally attack you, you would simply allow yourself to be killed knowing that death is an illusion, and peacefully exit physicality and return to your eternal non-physical self in existence. You would not choose to perpetuate more violence just for the survival of your physical body, which is not you. It's just a temporary vehicle. When you know that the real you can't die, it changes everything. So, for you, me, we, to move from competition, fear, and conflict, all we have to start doing is cooperate. All we have to start doing is live in harmony. All we have to start doing is live love. Thank you.
For more information about the Metaphysical Church of Enlightenment or the Rodin Foundation, please go to our website at www.rodin.org. If you have been inspired by the revelations shared in these podcasts, please donate to the Rodin Foundation's ongoing efforts to help others help themselves at www.rodin.org/donate.